Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. These are my allotment diaries. My name is Emma. I'd love for you to subscribe if you're new around here. Today I'm actually at home. I've been wanting to do this video for a while, and because I've not been feeling that well, I haven't been to my allotment plot for a couple of days, but I thought it'd be a good chance to show you what I am sowing in March. Just that you know, it's not too late at the moment. It's the middle of March. I'm in London, so I'm in the southeast, which means that it gets warmer a little bit earlier than if you were, say, up north or somewhere else. So I know that by the end of March, kind of beginning of April, maybe mid-April, I can start putting things outside with a little bit of protection, a little bit of cloche, maybe like some little plastic bottles or something, and most of it will survive. So I'm quite fortunate, and for that reason I am starting most of my seeds already. So I'm going to get straight in and show you what I'm planting for my allotment plot this year. I'm pretty sure that your house might look something like this. I'm quite lucky that we've got the guinea pigs here who sit right under the window, and at the moment all my seeds are on top of you. So I'm really sorry, guinea pigs. They don't seem to mind though. They like the extra attention of me coming over and talking to the seeds. So not all of this is for the plot, so I'm going to show you the plot stuff first. Over here I've got my tomatoes. I've got two different types of tomatoes this year. I have got my Gardener's Delight, which is a really simple tomato to grow, really delicious, and you get so many of them. And also a cherry tomato as well, which again is really yummy. I buy it from the supermarket all the time, so I thought that's a great one for me to grow. Quite small varieties of tomatoes, and they are not going to go to my allotment plot, guys. They're going to go out here. And the reason for that is because last year when I grew my tomatoes at my allotment plot, when I started to get tomatoes, I got so many, and I would go down there and have to harvest loads and loads of them at one time and bring them all home, and I just didn't eat them all, and I just didn't have room for them all. So this year I'm growing my tomatoes outside my kitchen window instead of the plot. Something else I have growing in here is my cauliflower. This is an all year round cauliflower, somebody told me. They are starting to come up now. You can see I've got cling film over most of my seeds. This is to keep them warm. It's just a really cheap, easy way of insulating, is that what I call it? Insulating them. So cling film over these. These are starting to come up. I will repot them when they get a little bit bigger than that, I think. Give them a little bit of a chance to live. I have shown you my leeks before. I will show you them again. They are doing really well. When these get a little bit bigger, I will repot them into separate little pots, just little ones though, because these will be able to go out at the end of March, hopefully beginning of April-ish. And little pieces of grass. Hopefully they do turn into leeks and I don't eat grass. What else is for my plot? Over here I have got courgettes growing. The courgettes are all green bush. I didn't grow courgettes last year, but I really love them. So all of these here are courgette plants. Really excited. I won't need this many. For a single courgette plant you're going to get quite a few courgettes. So I'm only going to plant about 3 courgette plants. Because I don't want to be absolutely inundated with hundreds of courgettes. I'm growing 2 different types of pumpkin this year, and they are not giant pumpkins. I did that last year. They were great fun, but I didn't really have the space and they got stolen. So I have got my mini baby boo pumpkins, which are really cute. I think they're the ones that you buy in the shops for decoration and things, but apparently they taste lovely. And I've also got Jack Be Little, and I've got 6 of those. Jack Be Little again is another tiny little baby variety, sort of about that big I'd say. The plan is to grow them over that giant double arch that I've grown at that I've made at my plot, and hopefully because they're so small, these pumpkins, they should be able to vine their way up and then hang quite nicely without bringing the whole archway down. But of course time will tell, and we will see if that is the case. And then upstairs I've got my sunflowers. I have to grow sunflowers at the allotment plot. I've got 9 growing at the moment, and they are giant sunflowers with a single flower head. So they'll only have 1 flower head. They will last quite a while, I think. They're really great for bees, and I will leave them this year. I'm going to grow them and leave them to die. The birds can eat the seeds, the squirrels can eat the seeds, and then when the flower heads are gone, I'm going to leave the stems, if that's what you call them, because they go hollow, they're really great for bees. So bees can go in there and hibernate, because I've got a few hibernating in my shed and it's not really practical. Do you know what I mean? So those are the things that are going to be I'm growing at the moment for my plot. I do have a few more things to go out: carrots, parsnips, my cabbages, things like that I'm going to plant directly out, and a few more flower seeds and things like that I will be scattering around as I go. But a lot of what I've got here is actually for my garden. So I've got zinnias growing. Last year I just scattered them in my allotment plot and they grew perfectly fine. I literally threw them on the ground. They grew into the most beautiful flowers. I cut them and then they formed more stems and I got hundreds of flowers the whole summer. But this year, because they're going into my garden, I want to be more particular with where they're going. So I've sown one per each of these and hope that it makes a nice little plant to sow out. And I've got a few more here of zinnias, and I will plant the zinnias out. So I like those. I think they're really beautiful flowers, lots of colour, great. And then here I have got, and I'll just pull off a little bit of this and show you, I've got cosmos growing. Now this cosmos is the double Dutch rose, and that means that the flower has got more petals, so it sort of looks like a rose. I guess that's why it's called a double Dutch rose, Emma. Here I've got now I do not know how to pronounce this plant at all. Oh god, I'm going to give it a go. It's a nasturtiums. Basically, I'll show you a picture now. They are a climbing plant, and I've just put an archway in my garden. I want my archway to be filled up to the brim with plants, and so these are a great climber to plant because they just go crazy. They can grow to about 10 foot. They're completely edible. You can eat the stem, you can eat the flower, you can eat the leaves, you can eat the roots. I don't actually know if you can eat the roots. Please don't eat the roots of it. I can't confirm that is true. I don't want people eating the roots of a plant and dying on my conscience. So don't eat the roots, but you can eat the flower and you can eat the leaves. So they're a really beautiful plant as well. I really love the colours of the flowers. So I've got those to go over the archway. I brought some sweet peas, guys. I went to my garden centre. They're like £2 for a pot of sweet peas, and I've just made a teepee. And I'm going to put the sweet peas over it. So I got these sweet peas here, and these are, I think they're all pink and yellow, pink and purple and white. Really, really beautiful plants. Can't wait for those to grow over it. And I also brought some more here. These actually look a little bit darker. But yeah, again, more sweet peas. And the last two seeds that I got for my garden, that I will just show you, I need to sow these ones. I've got Rudbeckia. Because I absolutely love it, and this is sort of more of a late flowering flower, so hopefully it will prolong my flowering season in my garden. I also got Californian poppies. These worked so well at my allotment plot. Absolutely beautiful flower, and really bushy, really vibrant, really bold, like loads and loads of bees were attracted to it, butterflies and things, so I definitely want some of these in my garden. So those are all the things I got for my garden. The thing I want to sow now is my sweet corn. I'm growing the Swift F1 variety, which can be sown anytime from March, April or May indoors, and then you sow it outside in sort of May, and then it is ready to harvest in August or September. But sweet corns like really deep roots. They want to grow really deep. Obviously it's a really tall plant, they want to anchor themselves into the ground. So you normally buy a root trainer for it, which is a bit like this, but it's longer and you can open them up so you don't disturb the roots when you plant them out. I can't afford to buy one of those. They are way too expensive. It's like 15 quid for one tray of root trainers. So I'm going to use toilet rolls instead because they're nice and long. Just fold all the bottom round like that, and suddenly, ta-da, it's a pot, it's not toilet roll anymore. It's as simple as that. You just fold, just squish it at the bottom, and then put it into a tray like this, so it stands up. Right, when you've got all your pots in a row, it's time to put in the compost, but I am using all-purpose compost for this. I have never in my life used potting compost or any kind of particular compost, but for sowing seeds, I have never ever used a potting compost and everything I've ever grown has been fine. In fact, a lot of what I sow at the actual allotment plot is just dirt from the ground that I literally just dig up with a shovel, whack into a pot, stick the seed in, and it grows. So don't think you have to spend hundreds and hundreds of pounds on all different kinds of compost. I'm sure it works slightly better, I'm sure your seeds will be happier, but they will still grow in any kind of compost. So whatever you've got to hand, whatever you can find, whack it in. That's what I say, whack it in. I've made a complete mess all on the table, but it doesn't matter because we're sowing seeds, we're happy. Here are sweet corn seeds. I don't know if you've ever seen them before. They're basically like dried pieces of sweet corn, so crazy, huh? Right, drop them in. One in each of these should be fine. I don't know which way they go, I don't think it matters. Seeds always find their way, guys. I think the smaller end goes down, but you know what, like I said, seeds always find their way. They know which way they need to grow, they're not stupid. Right, in they all go, and I'm just going to whack them down a bit so that they are a little bit below the soil, not too much. There we go, stick it on a windowsill. When they're ready, like I said, just take the whole thing, plant the whole thing in the ground. You don't have to disturb the little sweet corn roots, you don't have to bother them, and they can just be happy little sweet corn. Now sweet corn likes to grow in a grid, so you want to grow it like in rows, but in like a square, because they pollinate each other by blowing in the wind. So that's why I've sown so many. So that is what I am sowing in my allotment plot this year. I hope you enjoyed the video. This is what I've sown in March. Let me know what you're sowing, and I will do a separate video on my garden, I think, because this one's going to overrun a bit because I've been chatting away like a little chatter. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you tomorrow again in my next vlog, where I'll be showing you a tour of my back garden and future plans, and sowing some herbaceous perennials. I can't believe I said that word. That's like not me, is it at all? But there you go, I'm a gardening expert now, so subscribe to my channel for more gardening expert tips, and I'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for watching.